remember watching the clip that got me canceled from NEWSMAX? I think that's what we're about to watch right now.
How do you get canceled from NEWSMAX?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be back. Unfortunately, I think I may have upset some big money Zionist Jews by making the jokes I normally make. Like, when you make jokes on anybody, I make jokes on black people, white people,
Of
Jazz
course.
Hillary Clinton. That's fine. But if you happen to say something that could be misconstrued or made into something that could be offensive to, a Zionist Jew who's writing all the checks, you get that email, get that phone call from a high, and that Negro's got to go. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is.
Well, run the clip. Let's see what Benji actually said that triggered some situation. Let's go.
As Jews, as rabbis, as New Yorkers, we believe that all people deserve to thrive. Zoran agrees.
Okay, Benj. Trans rabbi. So I guess they went a little far with the circumcision, or I'm not sure how that works. I didn't even think that Jewish people believed in that sort of thing. And
that's not what got me canceled.
Chickens for KFC with this whole Mandami thing, or cows for McDonald's here. I don't know why any person who would be a Jewish person, who would be an American person, someone who lived through 9/11, which I did in New York City, being born and raised here, would be ready to vote for someone who has such ties to extremists. And there's nothing wrong with actual American Muslims, especially you have Nation of Islam, who are Black American Muslims, people like that. But Mandami, there's so many extreme people that he's been aligned with. And for this to have happened in New York City just 24 years ago, and this is where we are.
As Jews, as...
So that was the joke?
Well, no. At the end of that clip, because there was another clip that I sent you that these people, they took and they clipped, but I'll give you a little preface to that, because that was the other clip I sent you from that podcast. Basically, at the end of that segment, I had said, because I was just trying to think of it in real time, why would somebody who is Jewish or loyal to Israel support Mandami? Because obviously we know Mandami is not really a lover of the Jews. I mean, that's quite obvious. And I said, well, maybe it's the affordability, maybe it's the effect, the free stuff, which is what's getting people or Jews to vote for Mandami. So they took that. So mind you, innocuous comment, didn't think anything of it, because the free stuff is why everybody votes for Mandami. Why else would you vote for Mandami except for mostly the free stuff, the socialism, the whatever. That's his thing that he was pushing. So I'm thinking, I go home, because mind you, I go to New York. I live in Philadelphia. I'm in Philadelphia right now. I go to New York, do a little taping for NEWSMAX. Think nothing of it, blah, 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 come home, my business. And I was getting little DMs from people to say, how dare you say that Jews only want to support Mandami for free stuff? You're an anti-Semite. And I didn't pay any attention, because it was maybe one or two DMs. I was like, okay, but that's weird. But if anything, I was kind of on the Jews side, sort of kind of in my commentary or whatever. But I was thinking, was it the circumcision thing? And no, it was that. So then the other clip I sent you, there was this weird little random podcast that took the clip from me at the end of that segment, and they were see, this is the anti-Semitic trope of the blah, 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 blah. And I'm just I was gonna respond to it, but I was I won't pay any mind, because it was little. It wasn't a thing that went crazy. You know what I mean? If you're gonna cancel me, cancel me Nick Fuentes or something. Make a thing of it. If we're gonna do it, make a thing of it. You know what I mean? So I'm this is not a thing. Nobody really cares. So I'm okay, I paid it no mind. But then when it came time for me to go on NEWSMAX, again, because I would go every Tuesday, I'm I normally text a booker that morning, hey, were you on for today? Whatever, I'm going to come up, because I got to come up to New York, whatever, do that whole thing, take the train, whatever, up there. And I'm getting the runaround. I'm just okay. And then 1 week goes, then I'm then I go and see the segment that I'm normally on. I'm watching it on TV, and I'm seeing that I'm not in the segment. So I'm they cut me out of the segment. You know what I mean? No one told me I was. So then I went and I started asking questions and email. Yes, right here. This is the clip right here. This is the clip they took. Play this.
Okay, great.
So this is a clip from commentator Benji Irby.
Irby the hate bug.
Yeah, very good.
What the heck has happened? We only have a few more weeks to go. Go Sliwa, go Cuomo, go anybody that's not this guy promising all this free stuff, because that's what's putting his whole coalition together. The promise of free stuff makes Jews forget that he's an extremist.
Yeah, okay.
That was good. What? Well, I'll vote for whatever candidate gives me the most free stuff.
I'll vote for whoever gives me the biggest free sample in Zabar's.
This is why the left, has all the, Jews. Is just because they can't stop themselves from wanting a discount. Famously.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Do I like fascism? Not exactly, but it's wholesale.
I don't care about the trains running on time. I care about the price of the fare.
And it's like all supremacist ideologies, right? Like it claims to be protecting the people that it's, like actually insulting at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing to have him say it so explicitly and like just so in one sentence.
Do they think that's what we mean when we say free Palestine? They're just like, yeah, these Jews, they want everything for free.
I mean, you didn't lie.
But let's talk about why that's ridiculous. First of all, that's ridiculous because I said the coalition that supports Mondami, not just the Jews, anybody who supports Mondami is looking for free stuff. That's his affordability crisis situation. And if we're going to go with the old trope of like, oh, the money-grubbing Jew, that's like the money-grubbing Jew will be the person who owns Mondami's rent-stabilized building. He wouldn't be the person who's voting for Mondami because they're broke. That wouldn't even be the same type of person. So it's like they took something to like make it fit into a narrative. And mind you, these are leftist Jews. These are not like your, NEWSMAX right-wing, Zionist, IDF Jews. So it's like they allowed an attack from leftist Jews to come and like, you're canceling me for an attack from leftist Jews. And this is like a right-leaning network. Like that doesn't make any sense. And what they did, that whole narrative they tried to put out, makes no sense. The old Jewish trope, that's for like the rich quote unquote Jews that run the world. If you're a rich Jew that runs the world, you're not voting for Mondami because you already have everything.
Right.
You're not
right. Exactly.
Of that whole thing. But they took that and went a whole so I saw this podcast, I responded on X, but like nobody watched the shit. It's like six replies, like 6 views to the shit. So I'm just like, I'm paying no mind. But then like that next week, I'm noticing like NEWSMAX is not calling me. And then I'm asking people questions, people that I know, people I'm supposed to be friends with, asking them questions about, hey, like what's going on? And I'm getting like the fucking runaround. And I'm realizing now finally like what really happened. I was told that a call was made on high. Some of these people, I don't know whether it was those people, I don't know if it was other people that were emailing. They emailed like Chris Ruddy, who was like the CEO of NEWSMAX. It became like a whole thing. Mind you, I'm not an employee of NEWSMAX. I've never been an employee of NEWSMAX. I would just appear like anybody else would appear, but I'm not employed by these people. So it's just like, what the fuck? But I must say, I'm not really surprised at it. It's not really a big deal because I mean, networks are dead anyway. And like I said, that's not how I pay my bills.
That's facts. That's facts.
I was right. I mean, please, like, networks dying. But I will say this, and this goes back to like Charlie, but after what happened with Charlie and like, Netanyahu went and did his whole like, oh, I didn't kill Charlie. Yeah, sure, Jan.
Twice in like 6 hours.
Right. He went on Fox, then he went on NEWSMAX, then even the show that I was on, like that host had interviewed Netanyahu. So I had told my best friend maybe like 2 months ago, this is even before Charlie, I was like, yeah, they just interviewed Netanyahu. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be appearing on NEWSMAX. I know I'm going to say something that's going to piss somebody off, and they're probably going to cancel my ass real quick because I got to see where this is going, And then they have like this book that they push that Charlie did like a preface to, and like, this is what Charlie would have wanted. Why this book? Because this is like, and it's just like, it was getting real corny. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of seeing where, but I thought that if I was going to be canceled, the circumcision joke to me was like, if you're going to get offended by something, which was fucking hilarious, the circumcision joke would be like, that would be something to cancel me over. But like this random thing they took and made to a thing. And it's just crazy because like the way that it happened, nobody even came to me and was like honest. I had to like go and find out like on my own and do all this digging. And I've been appearing on NEWSMAX since NEWSMAX started. So like just literally the beginning. So it's just like, but it's cool. It is what it is. I mean, honestly, I'm not simping for the Jews. So, it is. So if that's what it takes me to be out here, I have no issue with regular. I'm from Brooklyn. I was actually born in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, to be honest with you. I was born in Brooklyn Jewish Hospital. I have no issue with Jewish people. I'm from literally the capital outside of Jerusalem of Jews, Brooklyn, New York. 770 Eastern Parkway is the headquarters, the international headquarters for the Jews. You know what I mean? My church I grew up in, which is actually a few blocks from 770 Kingston Avenue, we bought our church from a Jewish synagogue. The church still has a Jewish Star of David on the top of it. All of my teachers from K through 8, all Jews, because I'm from Brooklyn, don't have a problem with Jews. My elementary school, our playground, we actually shared a playground with the yeshiva next door. So I have no issue with Jews. But when they take these little things and try to do these little narratives, the Zionists that are on top of everything, trying to make everything and be offended by everything, you take a regular person like me and like you radicalize me against the quote unquote Jews for no reason. I was minding my business. You know what I mean? So it just shows that honestly, like from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are about to get up out of Newsmax anyway. They're seeing kind of where that pattern is going, and they're really, really pushing hard for this like Zionism thing, and they're not letting people with other voices say things or whatever. So on that, I'm good. But I didn't even want to address it, but I'm addressing it really because I know there are people that follow me, people that have been asking, I've been my DMs like, oh, we didn't see you this week. Like, what happened? What happened? What happened? So I was like, how do I want to address it? I was like, well, I owe it to them because they've been following me. I love, my viewers, the viewers of everything I'm on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I felt like I had to say something about it or at least address it. So, I'm here at home addressing it.
I'm going to tell you one thing, Benji.
Of the Jews, what do you think? And we know
well,
you're not.
You already know. I've been telling you all for centuries from the beginning that you've all gotten to know me on this podcast because I've studied the patterns. And so, Benji, you just said you had told a friend before any of this happened that you were going to get canceled. You kind of prophesized that on yourself. But all that means is it's time for the Benji Irby show. And so that's what I'm going to tell you. And you're going to have to be disciplined and dig in and make that happen. But you do great commentary, which is why NEWSMAX always had you on from the inception in the first place. So you have to pivot. This is the time. These are the moments. Okay. And so you don't need a network to do what you need to do. Laverne has almost built 1 million followers. She has a great podcast that she built from scratch and is still in the scratch mode. So it's like, look, Benji, don't let a Jew stop you from being you. That's the key. Okay. Never let a Jew stop you from being you. That's the key. So anyway, that's how I feel about the situation. All of this whole thing.
The podcast is definitely coming 2026. I mean, I had a podcast years ago, but I stopped it because again, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of lazy. I like coming into some shit where it's all done and having to do everything. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little lazy. People are telling me you need a podcast, you do that. I'm like, yeah, I know. And also too, I work. Like the thing is, unlike a lot of people who are like influencers stuff, and unlike people like you who are independently wealthy, I work still. You know what I mean? Like I have a day job. I have a
but I work too.
You know what I mean? But I ain't at Trevi level yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't there yet. I'm working. I'm getting there. I mean, I will have to say, if we're talking about regular life situations, as you know, I'm working on getting a house. I currently live in the ghetto, which I moved to the ghetto to save money. I've been saving a lot of money, saving money toward a house, whatever. My credit score has gone up like 100 points in the past 6 months. So I'm there. Like beginning of the new year, I'll be in my new home. And in my new home, I will have a finished basement, which I will do the podcast from. So all that stuff is happening, is coming. Like I don't feel bad about any of this. It was going to happen eventually because I'm not going to simp for the Jews. Like I'm sorry. Like, and when I say the Jews, I'm not saying your average regular Jewish person, but but obviously the big Jew that is in front of everything, the Zionist or whatever. We all know what that is. I'm not simping for that, and I'm not going to shut my.
I have a NEWSMAX story.
Sure.
I have a NEWSMAX story. So, as you all know, last week Monday, I received a pardon from President Trump. Thank you, DJT. And I got a text from
well overdue.
Right.
Well overdue.
But hey, I'll take what I can get. But then a couple days later, I talked to someone who said, hey, somebody from NEWSMAX is going to reach out to you. And they reached out to me and said, hey, we want you to do this segment on Sunday, which I was already running, but they wanted me to do it at 12 noon, which was like 7 p.m. in the evening where I was. So it was fine. And I believe they went through my social.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And knew y'all better not have me on, because y'all know I'm going to light y'all set up. I'm going to light y'all shit up.
I was about to say, they didn't do their research at all. I'm like, for real? They calling you? Wow.
Yes. Yes. And then they did a little digging. They only knew the surface. Oh, she got a pardon. She was indicted with the president. Right. But then they start to look at it. Then they got to
They're like,
look
oh
at
yeah,
us.
she's one of us. Yeah, totally. Yeah. When they went to church, it was like, oh no, we got this girl on. Oh
It was like, oh no, we can't do Miss Cutie. We can't do
I mean,
Miss Cutie.
just to give you a little bit of inside information. There's definitely a lot of people who are not on the side of the Zionists that are there, but they sign their paycheck, so it's like you're kind of stuck,
Exactly.
there. And I would never want to be in a position like that. Like to me, that's why I always like keeping my commentary stuff and whatever. It's always been like a sidebar. It's always been like a hobby. It's never been how I make my money, because I can't have how I make my money tied up into how niggas is feeling one day. Oh, niggas is feeling this way about you one day, the next day, because I'm gonna fuck somebody up. Like I don't play with my money, and I'm still a little too ghetto. Like you know what I mean?
No, that's not true. That's not true, Benji. That's not true, because I've watched you on NEWSMAX. I watch the response from your co-hosts when you do this segment. You bring life. They're boring without you. Like you bring life to that segment, to that show, and they all knew it, but they need to keep their job. So you know what? Guess what? They can't shout out to Benji. Hey, Benji, everything okay? I guarantee you didn't hear from none of those motherfuckers, because they got to keep their little jobs, because that's all they have. So
well, I heard. I'll say this. I heard from my homegirl Kay, and I'm gonna just say that.
Okay, is Kay on the show?
Yeah,
Kay on the
that's what I'm saying.
show?
It's two of us. So I mean, you do the math.
Right.
I ain't trying to be messy, but Kay reached out. Kay is cool. So do the math. But again, they're not signing Kay's check either. So you know what I'm saying? Like at least from what I know of. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
I get it.
Well,
do what you gotta do to get your money. Get your money, but that's not how I get my money. That's all. Get your money, but that ain't how I get my money. I'm good.
That's why I'm encouraging you. I am so encouraging you to do Benji Irby, because that's the only way out here. I don't work for people. I work with people. So when you say, okay, when I'm saying I'm working with the Eagles or Bernie Ledner, I work with them. I don't work for anybody. I work for myself. And that is the only way that you are free in this society. You cannot be indebted or, just implicated to the mercy of others, especially when it comes to your survival.